right, everybody, we're live. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Chrissy the Slasher Dude back again. Here we go. So I took a mental break, as I always kind of do, trying to calm the hell down. And I'm going to get to that in a second for me being stupid and deciding to go on YouTube for some stupid other fake-ass news from fake people. I'm going to get to that person in a second. Hope everyone's having a good evening. Just going to go off of what I watched in January, and before that, it's going to be a little bit of story time here in a second, but I'm going to get to that in a second. I already have some the cool cats in the chat here already. Ginja, hey, what's going on, man? I like your videos that you've been doing, my man. Great stuff like that. Great reviews. I like that, like 1 minute reviews or 30-second reviews, stuff like that too. Those are good for the YouTube shorts. Hey, Wild, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for stopping, saying hi. Appreciate that. Corey, Wilkie's Movies and Music. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, saying hi. It's good to have the usual suspects here in the chat. Again, thank you all for joining. Originally, it was supposed to be Something Geeky, episode 3 live. Unfortunately, Guy, Caveman, isn't doing so hot and stuff like that. He hasn't been feeling good, so get ready, my brother. He's the one who gives me the thumbnails for the streams and stuff like that. He sent me a few things for what I watched for the next few months, and I really appreciate that. He's been a huge help. I hope he starts feeling better, and we'll reschedule that sometime next week. I do have some live plans planned for this month and then the coming months as well, kind of changing up my content a little bit and all that good stuff. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a good night. I'm going to get to the films I watched last month here in a second. Perfect timing for this, really. Like thinking, why not? Might as well just do this. I usually do it through my phone and stuff like that too, because mostly what I watch I have, but mostly through Letterboxd through my phone, because everything I watch I put up on Letterboxd on here, and then what I don't have, I'll show a picture of it on here and stuff like that and prove that I watched it. But anyway, hope you all having a great evening. I was watching Mr. Grande there for a little bit, and great stuff he does on his channel too. Subscribe to him if you haven't. Great, knowledgeable dude. Does great content. Subscribe to everybody here. I know, Wild, you don't have one, but it's always cool to see you in here, and you always have great knowledge. So I'm going to put myself full screen here, and then we're going to get started on you can say a rant that I'm going to do, and then I will calm the hell down, then we will get started. So here we go. Let's just make this perfectly clear. It's basically story time with CC Bebe. You see me wearing the hat here. Of course, been a diehard 49er fan ever since I was born, basically. Basically, I was born to hate the Raiders. So if you know about that issue with that team and stuff like that, hate's a strong word for anything, but when you're raised that, and I'm going to get to that real quick, it's hard being a sports fan. It is very hard, specifically for certain teams. To me, specifically now in this modern world of sports and entertainment and politics and religion, where this all seems to mix together. So I'm going to get through this real quick. It's not going to be too long of a rant, and I'm just going to get to it. This is a call out to Mr. Colin Cowherd. Mr. Cowherd, I've watched you for quite a few years. I watched you when you were on BSPN trying to be a wannabe Mark there, and you seemed funny and quirky, and then you had your own radio show, and then here's where I paint the kettle black here a little bit. You happened to make some racial comments towards Cubans in baseball, I believe. So this is where the hypocrite part on his part comes in. So I recently watched his episode of The Herd that he did today, and he was talking about the hate, as I call it, the hate towards Taylor Swift. Now, he happened to mention, and I might as well just get the word out there, even though he didn't say it, incels. So he said, it seems the men that have the problem with Taylor Swift are weird, lonely, sad men, right? Which considers what they consider to be an incel, right? Let's just switch that around there, sir, and get your shit correctly. Like I said, I'm alone. I can be lonely. I'm a nerd. I can be sad every once in a while because I can be emotional, but don't talk your bullshit about that until you get your shit straight. Don't talk about politics when you had then the running President Trump around 2019, I believe it was, or before that, on your Fox Sports show, by the way. You had him on there. So all of a sudden now you kind of switch around and you're Democrat all of a sudden, supposedly, or you're wannabe leftist all of a sudden, talking your shit when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know, talking about, well, of course she gives big revenue to the NFL. Of course she does. I understand how the NFL works. You know, I don't hate her. I dislike her, yes, because I work in the grocery business. And if they turn on a modern radio station, I have to hear her shit all the time. Now, is she talented? Yes. Is she beautiful? Yes. So do I have any issue with her in general? I do a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. I have my own beliefs. She has her own beliefs and stuff like that. What I have a problem with is Travis Kelce. When I see grown-ass men acting like damn children, where you have your own podcast where you don't really care about the league, but they don't want to talk about that, do they? They don't want to talk about that. Colin, you don't want to talk about that, do you? And I understand that because that gives you views. Because I remember him once saying that hate mail is good mail. That's what he said. And I agree with that. That's fine. But talk some truth before you start talking bullshit, because that's what you seem to do. Why are you pandering? Why are you pandering to these people? Because that's what you're obviously doing. It's like, oh, this bunch of sad people and stuff like that, sad, lonely men and stuff like that. Fuck yourself, man. You are that same sad, weird, lonely boy. Make no mistake, because I know you're a child of divorce. So don't blame me when I was raised good by my parents. Don't blame that. Why about you kind of look at yourself in the mirror every goddamn morning, huh? Right? You said going to a psychiatrist and all this other shit because being divorced was so traumatizing. And make no mistake, you know, my half brother, he's from a divorced marriage. You know, my father remarried my mom, you know, and I understand that and stuff like that. But don't put your bullshit spew out there. Don't do it. Don't do it, you know, and that's my own fault for, you know, on and off. It's the same thing. So it's like, why do I try, right? But something has to be said. And I know nobody will care. I won't get called out by any of these people and stuff like that too. I remember just checking out my store a few days ago, just talking about this. And unfortunately, I spewed venom that day towards her, towards Taylor Swift. I just did, because I don't like shit being shoved down my throat. Always. And that's what we see. It's less about football and more about the other side of that with the entertainment. Now he can use his excuses that, you know, they only show her up there like a max of like a few minutes when it's like a 60-minute long game and all this other stuff. I know what the NFL is doing. I know what they're pandering to. I just understand that. Do I believe that the Chiefs will beat my Niners? Yes, I do. Because do I believe that it's rigged enough for the Chiefs to win because all the spotlight's on them? Absolutely, I do. And I understand what the Chiefs are doing, and I understand what the NFL is doing. You know, every hero needs a villain, and the Chiefs, to me, are the most hated team in the league. They have to be. And it's because of that. Personally, I want Travis Kelce gone. I want Taylor Swift gone. I want them to go into existence. That won't happen because they have their own podcast and their own things. Now, I have no issue with her. I have an issue with him, but you all can do what you want to do. But Colin, before you start talking shit, check your references first and look at yourself in the mirror, because you're a bigger hypocrite than I am, than anybody else is. You waffle your comments all the time. You've done that for the last 20 years. I've watched your ass. You just have. An NBA player called you out a few years ago saying you lived in a glass house. Obviously, he was right. Obviously, he's right. He showed an old picture of you. You look about as skinny as I did, or that I am. So don't talk about shit that you don't fucking understand. Just keep your mouth shut. Leave that up to the ladies at The View, which need to keep their mouth shut too, but that's either here nor there an issue. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done. So there it is. So that's out of the way. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I could do research on him. I can put up comments about him and why he was fired from ESPN and all this other stuff. But I'm not going to do that because I'm a bigger man than he is. And, you know, in a sport where a bunch of grown ass men that get paid way too much money to be acting like fucking children. So, all right. And there it is. Hey, Brad, thanks for stopping by, saying hi. I appreciate that. there you go. And yeah, it's you basically kind of said it for what it is, definitely. And there, just in case, and there we go. Let's calm the hell down. All right, we're just going to get started in a second here. Just bring up certain stuff here. And then we'll just get started. Just to give my kind of, what I watched and stuff like that. The first one that's going to be shown is basically a WTF found footage film anyway, which I've talked to Brad about. One of these days, you'd have to see it and have to do a stream on that anyway. But to me, anyway, but it's just a few bangers in here. And yeah, it's like, so it was a pretty good watch month and stuff like that for what I watched. So it worked out pretty good. All right. First watch, I think I watched this on the 2nd. I added New Year's Evil last month. But it counted as the start of the year. Of course it did. So it's a good watch to watch on the new year, but that's the Outwaters. This release I paid too much for because of course it was on Vinegar Syndrome. And of course, look at that. It's numbered. It's from Screenbox and stuff like that. So I just, like a dumbass, I decided to go on eBay and pay $60 for it. For a slip, for a piece of cardboard, for a cosmic horror, I guess. Cosmic horror found footage film, which is batshit crazy all over the place. It's like way, let's see if I can explain it right. These people right here, they're a bunch of like wannabe hippie yuppie yups. Specifically the main character in here, which to me comes off as a little bitch. Just a light way of kind of saying it. And they're doing like this music video. They're kind of like a band and stuff like that. And he does like movies. They're doing this music video out in the desert. I forget where it's at. And then they find this like hill rock type of a thing. They start hearing noises from it. And they're thinking, oh, that's kind of trippy. Which makes this movie interesting is this is why it's a WTF film. For the first part of this, this has two special features. One has the prologue and one has the epilogue. So just reading the synopsis on this film in general, because I'm like, oh, there's no need to put those. You should just put them in the film. But where they're at, I think they're in Los Angeles. There's these random earthquakes that start happening. Like all of a sudden, it happens like 2 to 3 times. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It just happens, right? And they don't say nothing more about it. And then they go to the desert and they start filming. They find this like hill type of thing that has like a hole in it. They hear noises from it or something like that. It's supposed to be a serene kind of sound for them. Then all of a sudden, it's like they go to sleep. And then he hears, it's like they start to hear stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. And then one night that happens again, then shit seems to hit the fan. And then it just goes batshit crazy from there. It's hard to explain. I gave it 2.5 stars. That's being generous for this, I guess. It's a WTF found footage film. If you can find it on streaming, watch it on streaming and tell me what you think of it. It's a trip. But it's definitely not for everybody. Say it's a cosmic horror. I can see where the cosmic horror came in a little bit because there's these like worm type of things on the ground. You'd have to see it for yourself, but that's the Outwaters. Next up was the Town That Dreaded Sundown. This one was a good one. I'm impressed. This is the original. There is a remake, which I heard is quite good too. This is based off a true story. It takes place in Texarkana, which is in... Yeah, Texarkana. I think that's in Texas or around there. A good cast of actors here. Ben Johnson. It's like a Texas Ranger. Comes in to find out. First off, these killings happen in this place where this couple is making love. First, it starts out as an assault, then it goes on from there. It's based off a true story. They never found this dude. This is from the director of Boggy Creek, This one has another one on here called The Victors, which I heard is quite good too. I don't mind seeing Scream Factory do a double feature 4K of this one if they wanted to. It's a good one. It almost plays like a TV horror film from back in the day. So I liked it a lot for what it is. 1979. It's good. It's an early slasher. It's definitely a slasher. There's a scene that involves not a trombone. It's something. It might be a trombone. It's like, but it's a very good slasher, early slasher. I like it. It makes me wonder if they got the idea for this dude, because this is a Potato Sack, I believe, got the idea for Jason for Friday the 13th Part 2. They might have when they saw this film, but it's it's a trombone. Yeah, thank you, Brad. So but it's really good. I'll check it out if you haven't. This is a classic, so I like it a lot. I gave it I believe 3.5 stars and a heart and stuff like that, because I can appreciate where this film was going and stuff like that. This might be the director's best film. I've not seen Boggy Creek yet, but and The Victors I heard is quite good too, but I can't wait to check that one out. But yeah, that's The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Good one. Kind of want to go in order here. Yeah, this other one that I saw, I was very surprised by, because it was on Amazon Prime, and I watched it, and right now it's my film of 2023, and that's The Sound of Freedom. I really like this film. This isn't for everybody. It is a Christian film. I'm Catholic, but it has those beliefs in here. It's almost like you take, it's like you mix Taken in to this and stuff like that. That film Taken, it kind of reminds me of that. I love Jim Caviezel in this movie. He does a great, based off a true story. They show footage of the actual person. He basically is, I forget if it's FBI that he's a part of and stuff like that. Something happens. They take down this pedophile. Basically, they find a bunch of these videos or these pictures, and he makes a life choice. It's done really well. It got me very, very emotional wise. I really like this film a lot. It's very good, but it gets at the heartstrings a little bit. There's a trippy scene on this island. It's based off actual story. They show footage at the end of this raid on this island where all these kids are at. It's very good. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars and a heart. This right now is my film of 2023. If this doesn't get an Oscar for anything, it's a fucking crime. That's all I'm going to say about that. So it's really good. You'd have to see it to to understand it, I guess, to see if you like it or like. But I really like Sound of Freedom. There's a little gap here, but I did watch this one and gave this a review on Found Footage Friday, and that's Missing. Here's another one from 2023. This came out real early. Basically, it starts out this video of this family, her and the one over here, that's her mom. There's footage of them with their father. He starts bleeding from the nose, and he dies of, it seems to be brain cancer or something like that, or so you think. I like the twist in this film. This is done very well. There's good people in here. Let's see. I love Searching a lot. Searching doesn't get enough credit to me. It's way underrated. It needs more praise. This one's done actually really well. The ending to this, or towards the ending, is almost horror-like. It's done really well, in my opinion. A twist I kind of didn't see coming. I see the message in the film. I like it a lot. Let's see. Yeah, Storm Reed, Joaquin de Almeida, and Ken Leung. Mr. de Almeida. That dude right up there with the lock. He plays a really good part in here. I like it a lot. It basically is her. It shows how dangerously good these youngins are with tech. That's for sure. Great job by her. She just goes on the trail from that, gets a lot of help and stuff like that. Great camera work in this stuff like that. But I highly recommend it. That's Missing. So yeah, I get missing 2.5 out of 5 stars and a heart. But I really like it as a thriller, found footage film. It's done very well. All right, then this one from my first episode of Mario Mondays. It's Planet of the Vampires by the late great the master Mario Bava. This one was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. This film's ahead of its time. It's very good. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars and a heart. It's a good predecessor to films like or stuff like Alien and stuff like that too. I can see it in here. It's Bava, so you can tell it's his work and stuff like that. This is done really well. Basically, these it is 60s. So, but yeah, 1965. But it's done really well. They get stranded on this planet and stuff like that too, and it's more of a zombie parasitic film. More of a parasitic film. That's where the alien type stuff comes in, not vampires wise, which I think is funny. But it's okay. It has that gothic feel in space. I like the colors here. Bava used a certain video function in here, which made stuff seem blurrier. How that's how it's supposed to be, I guess. But it's good for a 60s horror film in space. Like I said, this is Bava was always ahead of his time with his directing and stuff like that. I like it a lot. It's a good film. Yeah, 2 out of 5 stars and a heart. But yeah, it's from the master. It's Mario Bava. Definitely. But I'd recommend if you can find this on a streaming service or something like that, watch it. But I like it, so I'll definitely go back to it. I'm trying to get into all Bava films and stuff like that too. We're starting to watch it. Only one I have seen is like Blood Black Lace, of course, one of the master's masterpieces of cinema. So I'm kind of going with those older films and stuff like that. So, hey Reed, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for joining and saying hi. Just going through the shit that I watched for January and stuff like that too. So, yeah, that's Planet of the Vampires. Step up to it, and this one from the Giallo Essentials Black and Yellow set, the weapon, the hour, the motive. I gave this one 2.5 out of 5 stars and a heart. This is a good Giallo. I can go back to this. So it's nunsploitation, and it's a pervy priest, you think, but it's not supposed to be. I like it a lot. The director is pretty good. Cero has great special features. They all do for the Giallos that came out. But basically, it's this priest in this church. He's having an affair with like 2 women, and you can almost say lucky bastard. Yeah, these women are pretty vicious themselves. There's some spicy stuff, as you can say, at the start of this. It's a good thriller. Probably the best child actor I've seen in a Giallo like ever. The kid actor in here is a great part by him and stuff like that. It's a good thriller, murder, mystery type thing. Basically, the priest dies. They bring in this detective to find out what happened and stuff like that. It's nunsploitation. There's this scene with these nuns half naked whipping themselves and stuff like that. I like this one a lot. It's a different type of Giallo, but all Giallos are. It's a different type of crazy. That's probably why I love them so much. But yeah, I gave the weapon, the hour, the motive 2.5 out of 5 stars and a heart. But I like this one pretty good. I like this one a lot. I can come back to doing this one. It's a very good thriller. I like the ending for it too. So I would definitely recommend that. Yo, Rob Romano, the Lost Boy. Just love the name. That's so good. Thanks for stopping and saying hi. I appreciate that. Just great stuff. Just going through the stuff I watched for the month of January. So let's see here. And then the film, I guess people have a problem with or mixed reviews. I remember watching this on a watch along with Gorophobe, aka Keith. Subscribe to him if you haven't. And that's the OG George R. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Now I watched the director's cut basically of this, that has everything in it. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars and a heart for what it meant for the industry. Without this film right here, we wouldn't get certain stuff that we have now. There is some dumb comedy in this, I can say. There's a scene where the flyboy who just passed, I forget his name, rest in peace, my friend, aka the sniper, I think it's him. He takes down one of the zombies and stuff like that, and he has his arms out like this when he falls. It looks pretty bad. It's probably a Serafini's best role acting. The guy who did the practical effects for this and the makeup and stuff like that. There's a scene he plays a biker in this where they raid the mall. and there's a scene where I think he takes a hatchet and just puts it in the head of one of the zombies. I'm like, oh, there it is. There's the sweet spot. That's what we got Friday 13th. This is the second site release, the second version of it. It's not the big box version that comes with the booklet, I think, in the graphic novel. So it's very good. And but it's really, like I said, it's a classic. Of course, it's not his best. Probably Day of the Dead is probably his best work with a zombie film, but this one's a fun one to watch. I like it. I like the music for this too, in this version. I have not seen the Goblin version. I know, Brad, you didn't like it as much, but yeah, Dawn of the Dead. So I appreciate the film for what it is, and I had a lot of fun with this. So yeah, that's Dawn of the Dead. George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I love the remake probably more than this one. The remake done by Snyder is probably my number 1 zombie film. Yeah, actually it is for right now. That will change probably eventually. So that's a nice cover, Brad. Yeah, I was just looking at this picture you sent me on Instagram. Mariano Brano. Yeah, this was done by Francesco Mazzei, I think. It's kind of hard to tell with that one, but that's one thing I like about these era ones. With the later sets, they added a booklet into them, so that's always cool. The other ones didn't, just kind of bare bones, but still the same thing. So, but yeah, definitely, Brad. I'll check that out. Yeah, the same type of artwork. That's pretty neat. One stack down. Okay. All right, then. This was part of the 4 film stream I did with Dirk and Darren. Gorfo was supposed to join us, but unfortunately he was not feeling good. And that is Brian De Palma's sister. I really like this. This was a second time watch for me. Done in 1972 by the great Brian De Palma. Dude, this film still a trip. I remember watching it the first time, like, whoa, wait a minute. This is done really good. Margot Kidder, probably one of her best roles. She's not in it. She's in it, of course, for the most part, but probably one of the more shocking kind of scenes. It takes a while to get to that, but once it gets to that, it's done really well. I like it a lot. Almost, man, I can see where David Lynch got some of the stuff for his films from. It seems like De Palma and Lynch are kind of almost similar, but not quite similar. I can see maybe some other company this is a good Blu-ray from Criterion, but I can see somebody else maybe releasing this on 4K. That's if Criterion has the rights still to this. I don't know, but it's a good film. I have fun. Charles Durning is in this, playing a detective that kind of helps her. It's a murder mystery type of a thing that goes into different types of trippy places. I like it a lot. It's very Giallo-esque too, in my opinion, even though De Palma said he never seen a Giallo like ever. So yeah, I gave Sisters 4 stars out of 5 and a heart. It's De Palma's best. If you want to check out anything from De Palma, I would check this one out. This was done very well. This came out the same time Alfred Hitchcock did a film too. I don't want to say it was Frenzy, but I might be wrong. Yeah, definitely worth seeing. And yeah, I love Sisters from one of my favorite directors, Brian De Palma. Brian De Palma's A Trip, but yeah, Sisters, definitely great, great De Palma film, that's for sure. That worked out pretty good. All right, and then this one I kind of know what it did. My phone's having trouble loading, but remember I did this for Found Footage Friday, Unfriended. So this is the original. I would like to see a franchise done from this, like more films. They did Unfriended the Dark Web, which I like better than this one. Unfriended the Dark Web. I'll do another rewatch and review of that in a later time. That could actually happen with the Dark Web type of situation in Unfriended the Dark Web. This one is pretty good. It's a possession ghost type of a story. This is one of the first ones done where you have like the Skype calls, I guess you can say, or the video calls like through the computer. Basically, this chick who they say, looking at the synopsis for this film, this was after I watched it, who happened to be a bully and piece of shit, ends up killing herself or something was going on. And then she comes back and gets revenge. And it's a good bloody, it's a fun one. I like fun found footage films. And this is a fun one. And, you know, they basically, like, they play this game almost like Saw a little bit. So it's still in that, you know, that Saw craze type of situation. Seems like I want to play a game, blah, blah, blah. And it's a fun one. I like the ending for this too. Some of the shit's pretty shady that these people do. But it's a found footage friend. I'd recommend checking out Unfriended. It's a fun one from an early Blumhouse. So, yeah, that's Unfriended. Everyone, smash the like button. Thank you, Guy, for joining. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. Hope everything's going good with you. I understand we all go through that shit, the headaches and stuff like that too. So, everyone's saying hi. Check out the movie Dark Waters, directed by Mario Beyond. And you know, Severin. Sounds like that movie from Mario. Up right. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Dark Waters. That might be on Amazon Prime and stuff like that, streaming services. But yeah, I'll definitely check that one out. It's definitely films that I like diving into. I've heard of Dark Waters. There's another film called that. That's like, it's Japanese though, I think. That's called the same thing. I don't know if that's the same film or not. And then this one, I watched finally after everyone else seen it, and I'm like going, yeah, I have Shudder. I decided to check it out. We all know what it is. And that's When Evil Lurks. This is coming to Blu-ray. I have this on my wish list. I'm gonna pick that sucker up. This is a fun one. It reminds me a little bit of A Quiet Place, a little bit. It's definitely fun. I had fun with it. It's a good terrifying horror. Possession. First possession horror I've seen that works like this one works. I've never seen a film work like this does. It looks to be like it's an alternate type of future. Some shit happens, and then it's almost like you mix A Quiet Place with Rabid, to tell you the truth, and you get this. It's extreme horror. It's a good one. It's Spanish, right? If I believe. It's done really good. And let's see, I can do a quick synopsis of this film. It's hard for me to kind of explain this, but I do really like it. It's a good one. I gave it, what did I give it? Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. 4 stars out of 5 and a heart. I really like it. So it was really really good. Like, yeah, I said it was like a silent place versus like a zombie type of a flick and stuff like that. There's no point in praying. Residents of a small rural town discover that a demon is about to be born among them. They desperately try to escape before the evil is born. Yeah. So a little bit of Hellraiser in this too, you can say, with the ending kind of birther scene, you can call it. Not gonna spoil it. Yeah, this and Cobweb, my horrors of 2023, definitely. They're both equally fun. terrifying films. I like them a lot, but yeah, definitely check out When Evil Lurks if you have not yet for horror. If you're horror fans, horror dude like myself, you'll love it a lot. I do. I like it a lot. And definitely a great film. And this film surprised me. I got this in a Kino sale a while back and finally watched it. The Unseen with Barbara Bach, who I found out is married to Ringo Starr. Is. Yeah, it's basically something's in the basement of the house. It's a good early slasher. I like it a lot. I like the ending a lot. This film is pretty terrifying. The actor in here that plays, basically these reporters go to this town for this parade and they can't find a place to stay. So they go up to this which they think is a hotel or a place to stay. It's a museum. They meet this shady dude. I forget the actor's name. Forget the dude's name. That says, tell you what, I talked to my wife. Why don't you stay in her house? An old school, big, nice kind of farm type looking house, you can say, with, upstairs room and stuff like that. One of them's not feeling good. The other two go to the place to do their interviews and stuff like that too. It's very good. Twists and turns in this one. And I said originally there's more than one monster in this film. It's very good. It's a classic. It's a great slasher. I love The Unseen. Definitely check this out. It's exploitation too. They don't make them like this anymore, of course, but yeah, that's The Unseen. With a very damn beautiful. There was a scene where Miss Barbara right here, she tries to get out of the basement area and stuff like that, and she opens the door. It's pouring down rain and stuff like that, and her hair gets wet like that. Then all of a sudden, it kind of dries off pretty quickly. I get it. They had to do some other shoots and stuff like that. It's just kind of funny when you see it. So definitely love The Unseen. Definitely check it out. Next up, Mario Bava's Black Sabbath. Now this is the American cut of it. So the AIP, English language version. Great anthology of films. Probably one of the greatest vampire stories I've ever seen. With Boris Karloff, that's the Wurdelak, I believe. The Wurdelak. My God, Boris, what a great actor he was. That's a great vampire flick. They played this at the end. Originally, it was the first one, the first segment in the original version of Black Sabbath. But all great stories. One's a ghost story. One's a giallo. You might as well say it. It's a giallo called The Phone. Basically, I'm going to center on that one real quick. This woman gets a call from a man who she thought was in prison, basically. Spoiler for that. He's making obscene calls on the phone. She's wondering where he's at. It's done really well. Of course, this predates When a Stranger Calls. This predates a lot of shit. It's done really well. Mario Bava at his finest with this gothic setting. It's done really well. The first one is a ghost story. It's like it's a seance type of a thing. This woman steals this dead woman's ring, and it's almost like a possession type of ghost story thing. She goes back to the house and a lot of shit keep happening. It's done really, really well. This came out in 1963. This was a re-release by Kino, so it came with the slip. So it's very good. I love Black Sabbath. I love this one. But yeah, the Wurdelak, probably one of the best vampire stories I've ever seen. It's gothic. It's great. It's too short, in my opinion, but just perfect, really, for this. But yeah, any old school horror anthology, it's Black Sabbath. Boris Karloff, he does like the intro to it, which is really good. Rest in peace to a great actor, and yeah, great, yeah, done by the master. And yeah, this is done really well. That's Black Sabbath. I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars and a heart. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I might as well state this. You can tell. But in the phone, the woman that's getting the obscene phone calls asks for help from a good friend of hers that helped convict this person and send him to jail. They're lovers, but they don't state that in here. But you kind of know. I've done my research on this. It's talked about in the giallo book that I have on this. But yeah, definitely recommend Black Sabbath if you haven't seen it yet. Talked about that to death. And finally, let's talk about something we all really like, and that's Basket Case. Basket Case, 3 out of 5 stars and a heart. This is probably one of the greatest indie horror films ever made, in my opinion. Most of the credits at the end of the film are a lie. They're lying. It's like either 3 or 4 people made this film. Now think about that. 3 or 4 people. I mean, you can't get better than this film. It's batshit crazy. It's hilarious. The dude that plays the landlord in this hotel type place, it is hilarious. He's like the coolest, funniest asshole I've ever seen. So good. Basically, it's a story about, first off, it's directed by Frank Henenlotter, who's done Brain Damage, Frankenhooker, all the classics, right? He's done another one that Brad mentioned that's not that good, but it's really, Dwayne Bradley seems like a pretty ordinary guy. His formerly conjoined twin Belial, on the other hand, is a deformed creature who lives in a wicker basket. So they go to the Big Apple. There's a good scene with him walking with the basket in his hand. It reminds me a little bit of Nightmare on a Damaged Brain when he's all walking down the streets of New York. Kind of like that. I like the way the camera works from that. Obviously, it's from a car or something like that. It's done really good. I didn't think I would like Basket Case as much as I did. I love the ending for this. Hopefully, I'll be able to see how good Basket Case 2 is. I've heard it's pretty good for what it is, but it's a slasher to me. There's a saw scene in here, which is kind of trippy. It's done really good with what Frank had to work with. It's a classic. Love it a lot. But yeah, that's Basket Case. We're getting a 4K. If you already have it, you don't need it. This is the Arrow one, of course. I mean, look at all the special features, man. I still need to check out the documentary on this. So it really, really good. But yeah, that's Basket Case. So it's a fun horror film. You can watch it every Halloween or watch it all the time if you want. So I can see why Brad likes it a lot. So yeah, that's Basket Case. Let's see. Of course, this is the original type of cover for that. So yeah, there's a scene where he's kind of screaming and stuff like that. It's a telekinesis type of a thing. So I really like Basket Case. It's definitely a fun one. So hey, what's in the basket, my brother? So I've seen where this chick gets him drunk. But anyway, a film I just watched, and we'll talk about that in a future episode of Something Geeky, probably sometime next week. But that's Watership Down. I really like this film a lot. It's a story about rabbits, almost a Moses type of a story. The narration is really good in this. Of course, this is based off the book. It's really well voiced by the late great John Hurt. Some other heavy hitters in this one too. It's old school animation. I like it a lot. I would check out Watership Down. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars and a heart. I really like Watership Down a lot. Like I say, I'll discuss this further, but I highly recommend this to anybody who haven't seen this. It's childhood trauma animation. So, but yeah, it's a great. Yeah, and it was directed by Martin Rosen. So good extras on this Criterion too, by the way, as they always do. But yeah, there's another version of this that was released. I forget who released it, of Watership Down, but yeah, it's very good. And they did change the rating for this film too at one time. So that's Watership Down. Highly recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. Next up, to me, an underrated found footage film. This is kind of the gem that got lost, but of course, Fox released it. That's Devil's Due. A possession story. This couple, they just get married. They go to, let's see. They take a trip to this country. I want to say Colombia. No, they might have. I remember they go. I think it's Colombia, somewhere around there. They're just having fun and stuff like that too. And they're getting ready to leave, and this cat picks them up and says, "Yeah, I just want to go back." It's like, "Oh, you want to go to this place? It's pretty good." I'm like, okay. And like have some fun and stuff like that. They go, it's like an underground party. They have a good time. And then this seance thing type seems to happen because it's all done through this dude's camera that he just puts on as, sure, as an excuse to make it found footage, right? So, and then it looks like it definitely, she's in this circle, this demonic looking circle, it seems. And it's a good scene for this. This was done really well in my opinion. I like it a lot. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars and a heart. It's a gem to me. Of course, it is from Fox. Like stuff like Chronicle and stuff is from Fox. So I'd like to see that. Devil's Due, I don't think gets talked about enough, but it's pretty. It's a good found footage film. Specifically the ending. I like the ending a lot. Of course, it involves a cult and stuff like that. And I like that shit. So definitely check out Devil's Due. I recommend it. It's a good fun found footage film. So. And last but not least, but I'll talk about this into something geeky, is Bella. Bella by Mamoru Hosada. And he was a nominated director too. So this is a fun one. Nice steel book and stuff like that. I got this one at Target when they actually sold this stuff. But it's a fun one. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars and a heart. It's good Japanese animation. Definitely modern, but it's very good. It's like a anime version of Beauty and the Beast. Basically, it's a modern anime. Slice of life. It's the first slice of life anime I've kind of watched. It's more drama than most it is and stuff like that. Has a little bit, if you've ever seen Sword Art Online, it has a little bit of that in here. Basically, this high school girl and stuff like that. She's part of a band, trying to sing, just do this stuff. They talk about this place called You. So it's just like the You that says you can be whatever you want to be. Like you can restart life here if you want to. So she makes this character that basically looks like an idol singer. And she goes, well, wait a minute, that looks like so-and-so. Says that can't be me, but she sees the freckles, all this other stuff too. Names her Belle. She becomes a sensation on there. They mention Instagram. They mention all this other stuff. So it's a social media type of a game. It's done really well. I like the ending. The ending was pretty damn good. To a Caveman's point, he reviewed this film on Gizmo's Rotten stream, and he liked it. I like the message. So yeah, I recommend Bella if you like animation. This was done really well, so I like it. A good theatrical anime. It's been a while, so done very good. So yeah, that's it. That's everything I watched in January. Kind of a slow one. So it's I won't count New Year's Eve. So one. So yeah, just 16 films done in in the month of January. So not too bad. So that was a good recap of what I watched in January. So just future plans. I've kind of stated what I want to do, kind of more live streams. So I can take my time with them and stuff like that. Like say we have something geeky in our collection coming up. That happens. I'll post that ahead of time, so y'all be set for that. Also, the 4 films streams that I've been doing. The next 4 film stream I'll be doing in the next few weeks. I'll wait towards the end of this month right here, or maybe towards the middle of that. I want to give it an average 4 weeks to month time. So I'm starting to pay attention to some of my live videos because I don't want to do too much stuff like close together. You know what I mean? And the next 4 film stream I'm going to be doing with Dirk and Darren is going to be on 4 films with Mimsy Farmer, an underrated giallo scream queen, in my opinion. There's one film I still need to watch from her, A Perfume of a Lady in Black, I believe it's called. I have the railroad release of that, so expect that coming in the future. I'll have my found footage Friday tomorrow. I'm going to bring that back. Expect the video then. I don't know which one I'm going to be doing, but there's stuff to watch that I can do and stuff like that too. I know I was talking to Corey, the next conversation video. He asked me about that if I'd like to come on. I'm like, sure. I kind of picked a film that we could maybe talk about and stuff like that, but we'll work out a date, I'm sure, on that. And expect a Mario Monday too. So basically the 3 kind of video kind of stuff I want to do is, Mario Bava Monday, Found Footage Friday and the Slasher Saturday. So that'll kind of, calm it down, as you say, Brad, a bit and stuff like that too. And that's pretty much what the deal is with stuff like that too. I did mention too, I did a post about my Giallo showcase, doing those live. The first one I plan on doing live, I'm just looking for a panel if anybody wants to join for that when it does happen. Will be for the Giallo showcase will be I'll do 3 films from Sergio Martina, maybe 4 films, do that, but I may do probably 4 films on Sergio Martino. So that'll be the first Giallo showcase live that I do. If anybody wants to join me on the panel for that, let me know. I don't think Sergio gets talked about enough, in my opinion. He's very underrated. He's up there. He's top tier Italian director. That'll be in a bit. Let you all know when I post that, when it's going to happen. Because there's a few. I've only seen a couple of films from him, so I have more that I need to watch over there. So we'll be all good for that. So. Check the reverse art. Yeah. He's talking about that Giallo I mentioned. Let's see. Oh, he's talking about Basket Case. You're talking about Basket Case, Brad. Good old insert from Marrow too, by the way, but yeah. Sounds pretty. So I love about Arrow, they do a separate artwork. Damn, that's more creepy. Yeah, that's definitely creepy as hell. Blyle's so funny. Cool dude, very funny. That scene is hilarious. I have to admit with that, but with this guy right here, it's I did read not more of a rant on her, just a rant on social media in general and the media in general, Mr. Cowherd in general, for being a punk ass bitch like he is and a hypocrite like he is. See, there I go again, just going off the walls, but that's what the Weapon, the Hour, the Motive looks like there. That one. But just said my piece. Truth hurts with some certain stuff like that. And yeah, it is what it is with that. So I got it out of the way. Yeah, I agree. He lives close to us, Spice. He lives in this socialist fucking state. So it's he lives in Los Angeles, where all the other simps fucking live at. But it is what it is with that. So you know what, I just be the lonely simpy, sad, lonely nerd person playing my video games, watching my horror films, and watching my anime, and just doing good and just enjoying life and stuff like that, and having fun with the streams I do, and just showing off. That'll be the last time I mention that bullshit too, by the way. So that's it. I just wanted to say my piece real quick about that. Everyone else will talk about it, whatever. It's just not my scene anyway. It's not my generation. So, but yeah, that's what I watched in January. So not too bad, almost like an hour. So helps out real good and stuff like that too. So expect a Found Footage Friday tomorrow, just expect stuff in the future, and I'll keep you all updated if you can. Slash the like, sleeping bag to subscribe. Subscribe to everybody here. All great people here and stuff like that. We're all family here, and you all have a great evening. I'm Chrissy the Slasher Dude, and I will see you all next time. Awesome folks. Take care.